this is a pretty like tricky question. So in this question, we have like a lemming that sits at a corner of a square with side length 10. So the lemming runs 6.2 meters along a diagonal toward the opposite corner, and it stops, makes a 90-degree right turn, and runs 2 more meters. So a scientist measures the shortest distance between the lemming and each side of the square. We want to know what is the average of these 4 distances. So, this is like kind of a geometry problem. So we can kind of draw a square, right? So we have a square of side length 10 meters. So the lemming starts at a corner of a square. So let's just say the lemming starts here, right? So this is where the lemming is. And we're given the lemming runs 6.2 meters along a diagonal toward the opposite corner. So the lemming is going to run towards this way, right? The opposite corner is this way, so it's going to run that way. So it's going to run like, 6.2 meters. So it might look something like this. So 6.2 meters. So that has that's length 6.2 meters. And then it says that it stops and makes a 90-degree right turn and runs 2 more meters. So it's going this way, and then it turns around 90 degrees to the right. So it's going to go this way now. So now it's going to run 2 more meters. So it's going to maybe come over here. So 2 more meters, right? So now we have this scientist guy, and the scientist person is going to like measure the distance this lemming is from the 4 sides of the square. I want to know what is the average of these 4 distances. So this question is kind of like a trick question. It turns out that the answer is independent of where the lemming is. So let's say the scientist measures the 4 distances. So let's say you have like this first distance here, this second distance here, this third distance, this fourth distance. So the scientist measures this distance first. Let's suppose the scientist measures a length of A. Like, let's say the distance is A. Let's say the scientist measures the distance from here to here, this side. Let's say this length is B. Let's say the scientist measures this length as C. And let's say the scientist measures this length as D. So let's say these are the 4 distances that the scientist measures. And we want to know what is the average of these 4 distances. So the average of these 4 distances will just be A plus B plus C plus D divided by 4, right? That's the definition of average. But like the thing is, we notice that A plus C just equals the side length of the square, right? A plus C equals the side length of the square, which is 10. We're given in the problem. And similarly, B plus D also equals 10, right? Like if I take B plus D, that's just going to equal the side length of the square. Like I don't care what B and D are individually. All I know is that the sum of them is 10, and that's all we need. So we know A plus C is 10, B plus D is 10. I don't know what A, B, C, D are, but all I know is they satisfy these conditions, but that's enough to solve the problem. Because we want A plus B plus C plus D, but that's just equal to like, divide by 4. But that's just equal to A plus C plus B plus D divided by 4. So that's like 10 plus 10 divided by 4, which would just equal 5. So that would give us choice C as the answer.